The office holiday party at Turner and Associates was in full swing when I heard my name mentioned across the room. Being the only part-time remote employee in a company of dedicated office warriors made me an easy target for water cooler gossip. Tonight was no different. "There's Emily Chin, our mysterious remote worker," Brad from sales announced loudly, his voice carrying over the holiday music. "Finally gracing us with her presence in the real world." I smiled politely, clutching my glass of sparkling water. After 3 years of working as a part-time data analyst for Turner and Associates, I'd grown used to the subtle digs about my work arrangement. What they saw as a cushy deal was actually just one small piece of a much bigger picture, one they couldn't even begin to imagine. Emily Diana Turner, the CEO's wife, swooped in with her usual air of concern and condescension. "We so rarely see you. James keeps saying you should really consider coming back to the office full-time. Your talents are being wasted on this. What exactly do you do all day on that laptop?" Before I could answer, James Turner himself appeared, drink in hand. At 55, he ran the mid-size consulting firm like it was still 1995, believing real work could only be done under fluorescent lights in a proper office. "Ah, Emily," he said, giving me that familiar look of disapproval. "Just talking about you with the board yesterday. Don't you think it's time you got serious about your career? You're what, 32 now? Time to stop playing with remote work and take on some real responsibility." I thought about the 3 video calls I'd had that morning with my actual company's international offices, Singapore, London, and Dubai, about the $150 million merger I'd approved just before driving to this party, about Chin Global Investments, the firm I built from the ground up over the past decade, now managing over $2 billion in assets. "I appreciate your concern, Mr. Turner," I said mildly, "but my current arrangement works well for me." Brad snorted into his drink. "Sure it does. 20 hours a week hiding behind a laptop. Living the dream, right?" I checked my watch, a subtle patch filp that cost more than Brad's annual salary. "My real company's Asia-Pacific markets will be opening soon. Actually, I should be heading out." James Turner gestured with his drink. "This is exactly what I mean. No commitment to the team. No drive for success. Emily, your parents didn't immigrate here and work their fingers to the bone for you to become some sort of digital nomad." The mention of my parents made my jaw tighten. He had no idea that my remote work had allowed me to buy them a beachfront retirement villa in California, or that my father now spent his days playing golf instead of running the small grocery store that had funded my education. "You're absolutely right, Mr. Turner," I said, keeping my voice level. "My parents sacrificed everything for my success. That's why I'm so careful about how I spend my time and energy." Deanna patted my arm sympathetically. "Well, when you're ready to join the real business world, James will be happy to mentor you, won't you, dear?" James nodded magnanimously. "Of course. Emily has potential. She just needs proper guidance. You know, Turner and Associates is actually looking to expand next year, major investments, new markets. Could be a good opportunity for someone willing to commit fully." I knew about their expansion plans. My investment firm had received their pitch deck last week through 3 different channels. They were desperately seeking funding, though they didn't know it was my signature they needed. "That sounds interesting," I said. "I hope you find the right investors." "Oh, we will," James assured me. "We're in talks with several major firms. Chin Global Investments is at the top of our list. They're the rising star in the Asian market, though I doubt you know about them, given your limited business exposure." I almost choked on my water. If he only knew that the firm he'd been trying to get a meeting with for the past month was standing right in front of him, enduring his condescension. My phone buzzed, a real alert this time. One of our major investments in Singapore needed immediate attention. "I really should go," I said, gathering my things. "Probably has to check her Instagram followers," Brad stage whispered, earning chuckles from nearby colleagues. I was nearly to the door when James called out. "Emily, think about what I said. You can't hide behind that laptop forever. Success requires showing up in the real world. If he only knew how right he was, just not in the way he imagined. The next morning, in my real office, a penthouse suite overlooking the city, I reviewed Turner & Associates' investment proposal with my team. They're actually not bad numbers, Michael, my chief analyst, admitted. Their expansion plan is solid. They just need capital and better management. James Turner's old-school approach is holding them back, Lisa, my CLO, added. They could triple their revenue with proper modernization. I leaned back in my chair, thinking about James's comments at the party, about all the subtle and not-so-subtle digs over the years. Set up the meeting, I decided. But not with Turner. I want to talk to their board first. Lisa raised an eyebrow. Are you sure you want to reveal yourself? You've kept your connection to Turner & Associates quiet for a reason. She was right. I'd taken the part-time position 3 years ago as market research, wanting to understand the mid-level consulting industry from the inside. Turner & Associates had been the perfect case study, a traditional firm struggling to adapt to modern business realities. It's time, I said. Besides, their board meeting next week should be entertaining. That afternoon, I received an urgent email from James Turner himself, self-addressed to my Chin Global account. Dear Ms. Chin, we're thrilled to have captured your firm's interest. Our board would be honored to meet with you or your representatives next week to discuss investment opportunities. Best regards. James Turner, CEO, Turner & Associates. I forwarded it to Lisa with a simple note, confirm the meeting, and Lisa, make sure it's in their main boardroom. I want James Turner to be very clear about exactly who he's been underestimating. Back in my part-time analyst role, I logged into Turner & Associates' system and quietly began preparing the reports I'd present at the board meeting, reports that would show exactly how much potential the company was wasting under its current leadership. My phone buzzed with a text from Brad. Hey Emily, saw you left the party early. Just wanted to say, if you ever want tips on moving up in the real business world, happy to mentor you. Coffee sometime? I saved the text. That would make a nice addition to my collection of memorable moments to reflect on after next week's meeting. That evening, as I watched the sunset over the city from my office, I thought about success and perception. About how people see what they expect to see. A young woman with a laptop, not a CEO with a global investment firm. Next week, they'd see the truth. And I had a feeling their definition of real work was about to change dramatically. The morning of the board meeting, I arrived at Turner & Associates earlier than usual. Through the glass walls of my tiny part-time workspace, I could see the nervous energy rippling through the office. Everyone knew the mysterious Chin from Chin Global Investments was coming today. Emily. Brad practically sprinted to my desk. You need to clear out. We're using all the conference rooms today for a major investor meeting. I looked up from my laptop, enjoying the moment. Oh, don't worry about me. I won't be in your way. This is serious, he insisted. The CEO of Chin Global is coming. This could change everything for the company. I'm counting on it, I murmured, but he was already hurrying away to spread the news. At precisely 9:55 a.m., I packed up my laptop and headed toward the executive floor. Lisa was waiting by the elevators, impeccable in a designer suit, playing her role as my assistant perfectly. Everything ready? I asked. She handed me a folder. Board members are all present. James Turner's been bragging about his personal connection to you for the past hour. Has he now? I smiled, thinking of all his unanswered emails to my Chin Global account. Also, Lisa added with a slight smirk, he's apparently promised to introduce you to their brilliant young data analyst who prepared some of the reports. Says her work will show you the company's potential. I straightened my own designer suit, a far cry from the casual clothes I usually wore to my part-time role. Well, let's not keep them waiting. The boardroom fell silent as Lisa opened the doors. 12 pairs of eyes turned to watch my entrance, including James Turner, who whose expression quickly shifted from eager anticipation to confused recognition to dawning horror. "Good morning," I said calmly, taking my place at the head of the table. "I'm Emily Chen, CEO of Chin Global Investments. I believe you've been expecting me." The silence stretched for a long moment before exploding into chaos. Board members who had seen me around the office for years were staring open-mouthed. Bonna Turner, who had slipped into the meeting hoping to network, looked like she swallowed her designer necklace. James Turner stood up so quickly he knocked over his water glass. This is some kind of joke." "Emily is our part-time analyst," he stammered. "She's been conducting an in-depth market analysis of your company for the past 3 years." I finished for him. "Consider it very thorough due diligence." I opened my folder and began distributing documents. "These reports, the ones you were so eager to show me, Mr. Turner, I prepared them myself. They demonstrate both Turner and Associates' potential and its current limitations." The board chairman, Mr. Harrison, was the first to recover. Chen, Emily, this is unprecedented." "So is the opportunity I'm about to present," I nodded to Lisa, who began the presentation. "Turner and Associates has strong fundamentals but is being held back by outdated practices and resistant leadership. My analysis shows potential for 300% growth within 3 years with proper modernization and management changes." "Now wait just a minute," James Turner interrupted, his face flushed. "You can't just walk in here and—" "I can and I am," I said firmly. Chin Global Investments is prepared to offer $50 million for a controlling stake in Turner and Associates. However, our terms include immediate management restructuring and full implementation of the modernization plan outlined in Section 3 of your packets. The board members were quickly flipping through the documents, their expressions shifting from shock to interest as they saw the numbers. "These projections," Mr. Harrison said. "They're remarkable. And you developed these while working here part-time?" "Among other things," I replied. "I've also documented every instance of resistance to technological advancement, every dismissed suggestion for remote work options, and every missed opportunity due to outdated business practices." I turned to James Turner, who had slunk back into his chair. "You told me success requires showing up in the real world." "I agree. I've shown up every week for 3 years, watching you dismiss innovative ideas because they didn't fit your 1995 business model. Now I'm showing up with capital and vision to bring this company into the modern era." Brad, who had somehow wormed his way into the meeting, found his voice. "But you're just a remote worker. How did you build a $2 billion investment firm?" I finished for him. "With a laptop and an understanding of modern business realities. The same tools you've been mocking for years." The next 2 hours were intense. Board members asked sharp questions about my plans for the company. I walked them through the modernization strategy, the hybrid work model, and the digital transformation that would position Turner and Associates as a leader in contemporary consulting. By lunch, the board had voted overwhelmingly to accept Chin Global's offer. James Turner sat silently as Mr. Harrison announced that his role would be transitioning to advisory status. As the board members filed out, many stopped to shake my hand and laugh awkwardly about past interactions. Diana Turner approached my chair. "Emily, we had no idea. All those times I offered to help you network," I added diplomatically. "We appreciated it," I said. "Everyone has something to teach us, even if it's what not to do." After the room cleared, Lisa handed me a stack of messages. The business press got wind of the deal. "They're calling it a masterclass in modern due diligence." I smiled, remembering all the dismissive comments about my laptop lifestyle. "Schedule a press conference for tomorrow," I said. "It's time to change the narrative about remote work and success." That evening, as I packed up my small desk for the last time, Brad appeared again. "So," he said awkwardly. "About that coffee mentoring offer." "Thank you," I replied, "but I have a better idea. Report to Lisa tomorrow. She's heading up our digital transformation team. You might learn something about modern business practices. He nodded quickly and retreated. Through the glass walls, I could see people looking at their computers differently now, wondering what opportunities they might have missed while clinging to old definitions of success. 1 week later, I stood in my new office, the CEO's corner suite at Turner & Associates, soon to be rebranded as Chin Turner Global Consulting. The view was actually better than my penthouse. A knock at the door revealed James Turner, looking uncomfortable in casual business attire. "The board asked me to review your modernization proposal," he said stiffly. "I have to admit, your analysis is thorough." 3 years of observation? Had to be thorough, I agreed. "Your advisory role will be crucial in maintaining client relationships during the transition," he added. He nodded, then hesitated. "Why didn't you tell me all those times I lectured you about success? Would you have listened?" I asked quietly. "Or would you have dismissed me as just another young person who didn't understand real business?" He had the grace to look embarrassed. "I guess I learned something about real business myself." "We all did," I said. "Success doesn't look the same as it did 30 years ago. Sometimes it looks like a woman with a laptop, working from anywhere, building something bigger than a corner office." After he left, I opened my laptop, the same one that had drawn so many condescending comments, and began drafting a company-wide memo about our new flexible work policy. My phone buzzed with a text from my father. "Saw you in the business news. Your mother is telling everyone at the golf club that her daughter owns 2 companies now." I smiled, thinking about how far we'd come from that small grocery store. Success isn't always visible to others, but that doesn't make it any less real. Looking out over the city, I thought about all the other remote workers out there, building empires from their laptops while others underestimate them. Maybe my story would help change some minds about what success looks like in the modern world. After all, the real satisfaction isn't proving others wrong. It's improving yourself right, one quiet victory at a time.